Ripple is truly a very interesting coin. Some people are attached to this coin almost like a cult and won't let anyone say a bad word about it. Others are very much against this coin. In the past, I made videos criticizing Ripple, and because of that, I was insulted as well. That's why it's a different kind of coin. So those who love it, really love it, and those who don't like it at all. But right now, I like Ripple, although I also think its price is mature and saturated. So I don't think it's a very cheap price either. Of course, this isn't an insult. So why is Ripple's price increasing? Is it worth buying at this level? Has the altcoin season started? And is it still just beginning? Let's talk about these things. Come on, let's get into the video. Now friends, I'll jump right into the technical part. I've switched to my screen. Here you can see Ripple's daily chart since the beginning of the year, friends. It had formed a symmetrical triangle, and after breaking out of that triangle, it experienced a massive 58% increase. Why did I call a 58% increase massive? Because in the past, altcoins used to have 10x, 5x, 50x, even 100x gains, friends. During live streams, I mean, in our videos, they were 100x gains, but right now, it's not that kind of era anymore. So why did I say 58% is big for Ripple? Let's take a look at that as well. Ripple's market cap is $200 billion. We don't expect a coin, an index, or a stock with such a large market cap to rise sharply. That's why, in my opinion, a 58% growth against a $200 billion market cap is quite an achievement. And when we look at Ripple's all-time highs, it reached $3.84, and today there's almost only a 20-cent difference left. It was very close to reaching its ATH. When did Ripple hit its H? It was 8 years ago, friends. Even after 8 years, it still hasn't surpassed its ATH. But that doesn't mean this. Maybe there was only a small group who bought it 8 years ago at that time, because the amount of tokens released was low back then, and many users right now, friends, are in profit. Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, is truly a hardworking and humble man. He genuinely works for his own project, for the coin. So, should you buy at this level? And why is Ripple on the rise? I want to talk about these two topics. First, let's discuss whether to buy at this level. Today, it reached $3.65. We can't expect extremely sharp rises in coins with such a high market cap. So we can't expect a five-fold increase from here in a short time. First, we would wait for Bitcoin and the overall market to rise, maybe after that. So it's not very likely that we'll see a five-fold increase from this level right now. But if you want to buy Ripple, the most sensible thing is to use DCA, which means buying gradually. For example, if you're planning to buy $1,000 worth of Ripple, don't buy it all at once. Buy $100 worth each month and spread it out over time. Spread it out. If it goes up and takes off, you already have some in your hand. If it drops from here, by continuing with gradual purchases, you lower your average cost. For large market cap coins that are on the rise, this strategy is generally safer, friends. Personally, I think if Ripple can hold above $3, it's very likely we'll see an all-time high in this cycle. Because, friends, we have a support level at $3. It previously acted as resistance, as you can see on the screen. That's why Ripple needs to hold above $3 for its price stability to continue. Now, we'll look at why Ripple's price is increasing. But first, if we're going to experience an altcoin season, we need a good exchange. If you don't have a Binance account, you can open one through the link in the video description or by scanning the QR code currently displayed on the screen. This way, friends, you get a 20% commission discount and also receive $20 that you can withdraw. Details are in the video description. Let's see why it's increasing. An altcoin season is expected. And when waiting for an altcoin season, the first thing that happens is this, friends. Coins that attract institutional investors, such as Ripple, Ethereum, ADA, Doge, BNB, and Solana, start to come into play. Institutional investors buy these coins, and these coins go up in value. Then, today, two of my friends messaged me. Are you still in altcoins? What should be bought or sold? How are the altcoins doing? Will Ethereum go down from here? Or will it go up? People have started to message me. In other words, individual investors are not in yet. That's why, if we're currently in a bull cycle, I think we're still at the beginning. Of course, you can gradually reduce your positions that are in profit, but if we're in a cycle, we're still at the start. Because individual investors, also known as retail investor sand, I sometimes call them dumb money. I don't mean that as an insult. They're the investors to whom the final product will be sold. Don't let that be you. Right now, people are calling and wanting to buy coins. But the investors we call retail investors, or the ones you'll be selling your coins to, haven't entered the market yet. There's a lot of interest in crypto from institutional investors. Institutions are buying it up. But when we look at Binance and Coinbase's rankings in the App Store, they're steadily climbing. Once they break into the top 30, that's when we'll say the dangerous phase is starting. So, to sum up, the market is rising. But the reason for this rise isn't individual users, it's institutional investors. Usually after institutional investors, individual investors come in. That's when we can see the real show, the real surges. So yes, I can say that I expect the upcoming period to be even better. But of course, none of this is investment advice. These are just my personal opinions. When we look at Google Trends data, for example, the search for altcoin to buy is still at extremely low levels. In other words, people aren't yet researching things like how to buy altcoins or how to buy Bitcoin. The audience we've been waiting for still hasn't entered the market. So why are institutions buying? Because, friends, inflation data is dropping and approaching the targeted levels. We know that the Fed will make at least 2, maybe even 3 interest rate cuts this year. This means that money won't be stuck in banks, but will instead provide liquidity to the market. That's where the injection will come from. This also means that institutional investors want to profit from cryptocurrencies. When these coins increase by around 50%, we often see news about them in the headlines. After that, individual investors come in, and it's actually these individual investors who make the moves. At that point, institutions gradually start selling. When these coins rise by 50%, that's when individual investors come in. And as people start buying coins with small market caps, stories of 5x and 10x gains start spreading by word of mouth. After that, institutional investors exit the risky zones and return to safe havens, and thus our bull cycle comes to an end. It seems like we're currently following such a cycle as well. I hope everything was clear. See you in the next video. Goodbye.